What's going on, family? It's your boy Simo the C Mitchell checking in with another episode of the Falcons Bird Bath, pre-gaming it. Out here with my boys G Money, and we got Doe over here.
Hey,
Over here in the
What's
absence.
that, man?
Quick, man, before we even start this week, we're gonna get you guys with some injury updates and some thoughts about Michael Penix and the future of the Falcons. But real quick, I just kind of want to give out some of these poll results that we've had so far. I believe that with the poll on the YouTube channel, about 90% of the vote actually said that we need to stay the course and keep rocking with Michael Penix. Uh, as far as the Facebook group, the Facebook has it at about 70% of viewers actually said that Michael Penix, we need to stay the course with Michael Penix. And we had about 30% of our viewers said that we shouldn't stick with them and that we should go ahead and just move on. And roughly, if we're talking numbers, that's like about 164 people said that we should stay the course, and I think it was somewhere. What did we say, G? It was about maybe 70 people said,
Yeah, it was like 70. Once you split it, yeah, it was like 70 people that made
yeah,
that. What, 30? You said 30 something. Oh, you said straight 30. Okay,
yeah, it was
30%.
a straight 30, not even no straight up and down 30.
Right, right. So that just a quick piggyback on that real quick. Like, I actually voted on the post as well.
Mm.
And just to contribute my thoughts, um, briefly, I felt it's like it's too early to abandon that decision. We saw a lot of promise. It's only year one. Injuries happen. It's football. This is a very brutal sport, you know. And you can chalk it up how you want to chalk it up, but you can. I know a lot of people are looking at it like, oh, he just got injured. Like no, but he actually was already injured. He was playing injured because he had a bruised bone, and then he tried to still keep, still kind of keep going out there without rehabbing it properly or whatever, whatever. So you could look at it, from a dynamic. Oh, he just went out there and got hurt. No, he was already going. He always already having some issues prior to that. So I feel like personally, it's entirely too early to just jump ship and abandon that whole project. And he was showing promise, and there's a huge likelihood that we will have a either different coordinator last next year, and then even if we don't, there's the promise of they will be more familiar with each other. And I revert you back to Mike Shanahan's first year, not Mike Shanahan, but Shanahan's first year as an offensive coordinator and how crappy that was versus his second year. So there will be some growth with that player, not that he did this in his first time with the clipboard. And I land my plane with that.
yeah, I think as far as my stance on it is just a slight difference. I don't think we should abandon Penix, but I don't think we should abandon the idea to shore up our QB room.
Right.
Um, I know a lot of people may look at it as like, yeah, well, you're giving up on him. I'm not giving up on him. I mean, the guy's had five season-ending injuries in the past 8 years of his career. Although he's young, um, you still don't want to get caught in that situation where he injures his. It's not like he had minor injuries. He had major injuries, and I just feel like we need to shore up that spot and to a situation where that if this happens again, that we got somebody that can back us up and come in here and make some waves. Also, I mean, shore up your future. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with going out into the draft and somebody falls your way. I mean, we don't have many draft picks, so you kind of don't want to waste draft picks on, in a high position on a QB because that kind of contradicts what you've been trying to do with this team. But I mean, yeah, I think we should shore up that position and however we do it, whether it's free agency or through the draft.
The Michael Penix Jr. situation, the Billy Bowman situation, and the Zach Harris situation. So though all those guys, we're not gonna see them for starting from the the IR guys, which is Billy Bowman Jr., Zach Harris, 4 weeks, and probably won't see Michael Penix Jr. till next year. I mean, I'm sorry, Nick. Yeah,
With that being said, of course, Bowman going on IR and Harrison, that's huge. They think Bowman
yeah,
had an
those are
Achilles.
big knocks.
Yeah, they figuring out what that's gonna look like. Uh, we'll circle back around to this to some Penix and some of the team future and where we could be going potentially in this draft upcoming. I would like to see us actually go ahead and add some wide receiver talent and some definitely would like to see us add some cornerbacks. We definitely need more speed out there. We could have used a wide receiver this off season right now. There's a lot of people who were saying they wanted to see us go after Devontae Adams and some other players as well too. So I hope we don't wind up picking a quarterback in the draft. I think that would be a terrible waste of draft capital. I'd much rather see us go and sign a quarterback who wants to sign a prove it deal because there's no guarantee that we'll have Penix back in time for the preseason. Even 9 months puts us around August, but we've seen people have setbacks with these type of ACL injuries. The good thing is, I mean, he's not a running back or a wide receiver. So, uh, what are y'all thoughts on that? What do you think about? I was talking about Pops earlier about Kyle Trask. He wanted to vomit in his mouth. Uh, but that looks like that could be potentially where we wind up going next year. I mean, they just signed him. I know that's a temporary thing, but it's I wouldn't be against somebody like a Kyler Murray. And this is all gonna be speculative based on what happens in the offseason. But I think Kyler Murray's probably not going to be there in Arizona anymore. Even a Jacoby Brissett. I think you go and try to get you somebody like a Sam Darnold. Again, he may not be available, but just saying somebody in that ilk, somebody like a Daniel Jones that as the season's going on, they played pretty good, but wouldn't feel bad if you did go back to Penix and try to give him
Goes back to something that leads back to the actual poll that was put up. And if you move on from him, like reverting back to what you were saying, though, even if we move on from him, we could go get another guy in the draft. You could sell out and move back up into the first round, right? That can happen. And then we move on from him, and then we go get another guy, and we wind up back in the same thing again, get hit bit by the injury bug again. Because injury, I mean, that can happen to anyone. That's a gimme. And if you play football long enough, you're gonna get hurt. And it's just unfortunate that, after what did he play? 13, 14 games. After 13 or 14 games, here we are. I mean, here we are in a situation with him. And unfortunately, he wasn't playing good. I'm not gonna put all that on his shoulders, the fact that he wasn't playing good, because our offensive coordinator wasn't, in my opinion, he wasn't doing adding the nuances that you would add if you got a rookie player, right, to that extent. He just wasn't giving it to him. And when you got a rookie player, it's just certain things that you have to do in order to make things a little better for him, make him be able to see things better than what he's able to see.
where else would you like to see us potentially shore up, or some of the offseason moves you like to see? Because I mean, we are a bit far out, so we don't really know even what quarterbacks are going to be available at this point in time. But who are some names that you would like to actually see? Uh, I mean, or some positions where you would like to see us first and foremost go. What do you think the most immediate needs of this team are as it stands right now, moving into the offseason?
Well, what I would like to say, I'm not okay. We can move on. For me, we can shore up quarterback with a guy like you said, a Jacoby Brissett or somebody like that, somebody that's not necessarily going to be our guy, but he gives us that the luster that we need in that room. But as far as what I see, like you said, I would like to see some something more longevity in the wide receiving room. I definitely, with the defense that we're running, I know that Brick has his idea of how he wants to do things, but I would like to see them go get I like to see 2-0 techniques, nose guards coming out of the draft, maybe one coming out of the draft, one in free agency. I definitely I mean I like Mike Hughes and I have missed Mike Hughes, but I just honestly feel like we can do better. Even if you go and get him a corner at that second in that second spot. And that's I feel as if we got guys that can still shore up the nickel. I think it's a lot of instability because right now he leaning Brick is leading so hard on offer. Um and it's cool, but I just feel like from what I've seen some guys that can actually do that. And last but not least, my top thing on defense would be go get some more linebacker. Go get two solid linebacker. I don't care where you get them from. Linebacking is a little bit harder to transition coming out of college. So I'd be fine with going to get two solid linebackers in free agency, but just go make sure you go get those linebackers that if we don't get in the situation that we've been in here lately where you're just thumbing and bumming. It's the pros and Joes, like you say. I mean, that's a great saying, and we hadn't really had no. We had a bunch of Joes playing that linebacker spot lately.
Really.
That's why the defense has really been railing to the extent they have. And we gotta figure this thing out with this offensive line. We have hit what I would call a nightmare at offensive line. Now I'm not that I don't feel like that's something you fix in the draft though. And that's just the total. I feel like with what we have, if we're going wrong with that. I heard somebody even say just move on from Caleb McGarry. Some guy said Caleb's up. And I was like, my face, I still can't even hide my true facial feelings about that because it's
Right.
like he's not okay. He's not the best pass blocker. We're not there's you're not going to get an argument with me on that. But if we're talking about his run blocking, he is well above average with his run blocking. And if we're basically a running team. We're a run first team. And every time we get away from that, that's where we always struggle when we try to get our rookie quarterback to play too much, when we do him a huge injustice. We
Yep.
have I saw someone say, Simon, you might have saw it too. Someone said we are quarterback. We have become quarterback killers because we inject these quarterbacks too quick. We don't put them in the right type of situations, and then we're aesthetically ready to move on from it because of the aesthetics. We're aesthetic ready. You don't really give it a chance for the growth and development that is needed at that position because aesthetics it ruins a guy's career in Atlanta. And I'm tired of that. I'm tired of us just moving on. Everybody just so bitter and want to be right, and that's terrible. All these fair weather fans and people actually listening to them. They're getting a platform to actually spit that venom at us, and that's not what we need. We're getting there. It's gonna happen, even though we're losing right now. You got to look at how we're losing.
It, so I want to touch on that. So it is a lot of we're losing a lot of close games. Some people sometimes they might look at that and say, "Well, you've seen it where they use that to defend coaches. Oh, well, it's been a tough year for this team. They lost so many close, heartbreaking games, and they use that as an indicator for it being a good coach or a good team, and they're just a few plays away." But with us, it seems like the way we're losing some of these close games, it's like, well, look at these close games that we're losing that could have went the other way if we had just made some better decisions with better play calling, better play personnel moves at the time, or whatever the case is. I mean, do you think that they should give Raheem another chance moving forward?
Okay, so you're right, and everything you said is accurate. But
Right.
here's what we all have to understand. Okay, we're in a situation that Arthur Blank decided to go with. So, but just like players have to grow and develop, coaches have to do the same thing.
Right.
They absolutely there's no coach that's gonna just jump off the banana boat and just know all the nuances that come with that, all that, and then pressure busts pipes, and it's a lot of pressure that goes into that. So, am I ready to move on from Raheem? I feel like Raheem has got some growing up to do. Raheem, in my opinion, and I still stand on this hill, his biggest mistake was hiring the wrong people. He hired his friends.
Agreed.
And if there's a lesson to be for him to take away from this, and you will never know the lesson if
Right.
we just go, no, you're fired. We'll never see because Dan Quinn was given a chance to see if he learned his lesson about things. I know we kind of jumped ship on Arthur Smith. We
Shout out
didn't
to
give
Trent in the
him.
chat, by the way. Appreciate the love,
Hey, shout out
homie.
to Trent. Appreciate it, brother. But we did Arthur Smith. We did kind of. I kind of agree at this point. Initially, I didn't look at it like that, but I feel like we kind of did jump ship. But he did. He got a little more of a chance that Raheem is getting to right the ship. So, and Raheem's mistakes have not been small in hiring the wrong people. Hiring the wrong people it can be disastrous. And
Right.
so him falling on the sword, like he does a lot of times, makes me like him as a coach. I'm not at this point. I'm not ready to jump ship on him. Now, I may feel a little different when the clock chimes zero on week 17. I might feel a little different then, but I'm willing to gather all the evidence to see what my decision would be then. But right now, no, I'm not ready to jump ship on him. Not right. Right now, we're not. It's not a lot of it. Okay, yes, there are some coaching issues, but we're not losing because of those coaching issues. We're losing because of terrible execution and injuries. I mean, and then okay, you don't want to. It's next man up and everything, but it's still. I don't care. Next man up, whatever. We're already a struggle. We're already going to be We're going to be a struggle team at the beginning of the year. So so at the end of the day, it becomes Jims and Joes beyond that, and coaching in between both of them. And has Raheem, the question you would ask, has Raheem as a coach gotten better this year or last year? Are you seeing the same thing? And you got to answer those questions to be honest. But I'm willing to wait till week 17 when the clock strikes zero to ask myself those questions. But right now, no, I don't feel like my biggest thing with firing Raheem right now would be the repetitiveness that you're gonna get. You're gonna have to start all the way back over again. And I personally don't want to do that right now at this juncture.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed a little bit. I guess I want.
Yeah, it's right, and you should be. But by you being mixed, honestly, bro, that to me says just wait because I mean, we gonna either win 10 games or not. I mean, it's not like no in between that. I mean, it's in between far as wins and losses, but I mean, we here we are. We in a stinky situation right now in this moment. It can get worse, but it also can get better. But we gotta wait. We just gotta see, and let's determine at that point. I might get done before that, but with Jimmy Lake, I got done way before week 17. I was done with Jimmy Lake. I was like, yeah, they probably gonna move on from him because it was terrible. It got bad. But it seemed like he kind of turned it around. But it still, even when he turned it around, it wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough to win no football games. Not for me. So just be patient with it. Be patient with yourself.
Yeah, I guess that's ultimately all we could really do at this point. If Raheem finishes out the season, that's going to be the bittersweet thing. If Raheem finishes out this season on a good note, it's like, okay, where do we go next? And it might give us a false hope that we don't really want to have. So that's kind of what I'm worried about a little bit, is a situation like that. Raheem coming out, finishing the year strong, and it being like, now.
But that's hypothetical. You can't live in a hypothetical world. You know what I'm saying? That's hypothetical.
Well, if you don't, the whole idea is if you don't, it's a matter of whether you trust that. If Raheem comes out and he finishes strong, do you trust that is the real Raheem, or do you think that that's an aberration? That's kind of where I was kind of going with that.
I'll shift gears to that, and then I'll say, and I'll piggyback off that, and I'll say, regardless, it's still 3 years. Even if he do that, it's still the same 3 years of trial and error that everybody else got. So that's giving him enough rope to hang himself. And that's realistic.
And I wanna kind of read a little bit of what Trent's saying over in the comments as well too. he says, I agree. I don't think Raheem during the game has done too bad, but his decisions and a lack of change may cost him. He's saying that next man up is overrated. Atlanta specifically is not on the next.
Okay, Trent.
Let me finish reading. Let me finish reading this comment though. He says, we're wait, let me read this right. Next man up is overrated. Atlantic specifically is not on the next man. A lot of time we're on the third and fourth practice man up. And just his last comment, he says, he's asking, what's the difference between Jimmy Lake's scheme and Olbrich's scheme? I see similar alignment. Am I wrong? So we'll address all those. G, go ahead.
So what's the difference in Jimmy Lake and Ulbrich? Okay, all right. I mean, let me hit that one first. There's an obvious difference in Jimmy Lake. Jimmy Lake tried to run a hybrid 34, but it was more like a 4-3 scheme. Okay. And Jimmy Lake was he did what I would call he hang his hat on players. Ulbrich, he rotates. Like if you're on that defense, if you're on that 53-man roster, you're gonna get some burn. So Jimmy Lake really he predicates his defense on speed and attack. I'm not Jimmy Lake. Ulbrich predicates his defense on speed and attacking. Right. That's why he rotates so heavy, especially in the front. He doesn't rotate so heavy in the behind those guys, but he does rotate in the secondary. But he rotates so heavy because he relies on those guys having fresh legs. So the difference in their defense is Jimmy Lake's defense was more of a read and react defense, but to me it was a read and get low to sleep defense because he never really attacked. If you're gonna read and react, you have to attack every now and then.
100% read.
Brick's defense, they attack. They come in. They come in. They might come on first down. They might come on second down. They might come on third down all together. And they're coming. And they're fresh legs and they're coming. Agreed. And that's why he's doing. The reason why you could even consider that question is because linebacking. Our linebacking it's been a disaster. And linebacking in the type of defense that he runs, because if you look at the linebackers, he only runs two sideline to sideline linebacker, which is two stand up off all linebackers. The other two are on the line of scrimmage, either chasing the quarterback or picking up the back out of the backfield. So if you look at those two nuances, that's why his defense would even be questioned. If you have, like I said, the key things, and I put them at the top of that list, go get those two linebackers that play either just as good or maybe one step behind Divine Diablo, and we won't be had. That will be the number one defense in the league. And that just even that the JPJ and Jalon Walker, you can say what you want to say. Even if we pick number 5 this year, those were the right picks, and those guys are going to do nothing but get better. Trust me. I mean, you ain't got to trust me. Just keep watching.
Hey, like that actually is where we need to end. That's exactly where I wanted to kind of make sure we spoke on. I've seen people, a few publications have tried to clown us for the trade that we made, going after James Pearce Jr. and that we're going to be giving the Rams a top 10 pick. At least if we keep on the same trajectory we're on, we could still win out. But regardless, I feel as though James Pearce Jr. is a sure shot first top 10 pick anyway. I feel like he was worth every bit of that pick, no matter what our schedule, what our record winds up being. I just feel like we wind up using our first round pick this year early.
Right.
That's my thought. I feel like he's been one of the major catalysts for this defense.
Absolutely.
Being nearly as good as it's been so far.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Absolutely. And I piggyback off of that and I say, yes, that's right. And you got to look at it like everybody has this canting inability to not see past what they're looking at right now. You can't just look at what you're looking at right now. Those guys are young. So, okay, the only guys that you can say, okay, we got to look at what we're getting out of him right now is Leonard Floyd because he was on a 1-year deal, and not to mention he's an older player. Okay?
Shout out to Jay Black in the chat as well.
Hey, what's up, Jay? So these people that we're talking about, JPJ and Jalon Walker, these kids are coming back. We gotta look. We got 5, possibly 6 years that we know they gonna rock. So you got to look at where they started plus trajectory where they're gonna finish. And if you're not doing that, you're being very just disingenuous about the situation. You go get a top 5 pick. To me, in my opinion, draft picks are hugely marginalized, overrated. Because if you're not bringing them in to develop them and understand that they may not hit the ground running and stuff like that, you may get that. But then there's a huge opportunity that you may not. But with people like JPJ and Jalon Walker and people like that, where you are now that we've seen what we got and we know what we're getting, that there's way more value in that than a draft. So that if you're not willing to admit that, like I said, you're just being marginally disingenuous. You're just not being honest with yourself. So that was, to me, that was a no-brainer. And they were gonna already get that guy, and he fell that far. Man, look, go get him, and we'll fix it. The top 8 pick might be a bust. Like, like serious, like that happens.
Yep. I mean, the Julio Jones trade, just to go back to it, we gave up a lot of capital to get Julio Jones, but all of those draft picks wound up kind of panning out to be bust.
Right.
Or whatnot. And so I'm not mad at it. If you know you got a guy there that you are believe in, you got to take that guy. And I mean, that even kind of goes back to the thing about Penix too, man. A lot of people were upset that we took Penix, but quarterback right now, I think there's only 5 or 6 teams in this league that have quarterbacks that you can 100% be like, oh yeah, we got us a guy. Maybe there's 7 if you kind of include maybe some of the rookies and stuff, but you don't know that Bo Nix is necessarily going to pan out to be what you were hoping that he was going to be. Drake May looks good right now. Jackson Dart looks good right now, but I mean, we saw how what's the kid's name that's out there? Mac Jones.
Okay.
He started out pretty good in New England. He started out bad, then went good, and then went bad, and now you still don't know what you got in him. Sam Darnold, he's a guy that's turning around. They thought that Geno Smith had finally turned it around, and now he's looking like crap this year. It's just really hard to play quarterback in this league, and you got to make sure you got the right whisperer for that quarterback.
Bro, Baker Mayfield.
I mean, listen, they were gonna make him compete with Kyle Trask for the starting position down there in Tampa Bay. Like, we only a couple years, removed from that. So
you see what I'm saying? You gotta be patient. Everybody's they're so right now. Let's jump ship. I see that it's not working out. Let's do something different. No, man, that's not always the answer.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta sit still. Sometimes you gotta let it happen. Sometimes you gotta let it unfold. That's what happens. And it may be 3 years down the road, and you're like, damn, I'm glad we didn't get rid of him. But you're gonna be like, damn, I ain't glad I ain't get rid of him. And that's what's gonna happen.
Right. We gonna go ahead and kind of wrap this pretty soon, but I'm gonna read one more of Trent's comments as it pertains to Pearce out here. He said, what I love about Pearce is we're getting exactly what was advertised, not a little bit more, not flash. He's exactly what they said that he was, which I totally agree with. Like, we got us a dog for real moving forward. He said he saw Trask on the field this week for us in practice. Trent, how good was he? I'm kind of curious what you thought about Trask in practice, and we'll drop an update for that later on. But we appreciate everybody tuning in with us. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. If you are checking us out on Point Game Official on YouTube, we're on Point Game on Facebook as well too. If you're watching us on Facebook, go over to the Point Game page, professional business page, hit us with a like, share, share the videos. We're gonna hop on at the live stream at 4:00. We might go on a little bit early, but we're gonna stream for the 4 p.m. games. Versus
Trent. I'm sorry to cut you off, but Trent responded. He said he's tossing the ball like Kurt, so he must be looking all right.
Okay, just tossing the ball by Kurt. Okay, cool. we gonna see what's up with that, man. But definitely, man, y'all make sure y'all tap in with us for the 4 p.m. game, and we're gonna do a watch party and stream, and see if I can even drop some links for somebody in there, anybody out of market who actually wants to watch the game. If anybody has a stream link, go ahead and let us know. We'll try to get it out to people while we watching the stream as well too. So for Point Game Official, it's your boy Timo checking off for G Money, and Golden already popped out to watch the kids. But check back in with us, baby. Peace.
All right, peace.